If you could just get started and tell us exactly like how you found the business, what your life looked like before, kind of where you're going now, and kind of what's your like what your stereotypes were about like a business like this, because I feel like we all have them.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sonia. I'm under Alyssa and Lachelle Ann, if you don't know them. So that's double OCD right there for you. I got started this last December, so that was 2016, and Alyssa was actually on here, enrolled me. And before I got into it, so I've done MLM before, like I did it in high school, and I was like, I sold Cutco knives. So if you can sell Cutco knives, you can sell wraps. Like that's the real story. So I understood, the MLM and the story behind it, but I will, I'll never forget. So Alyssa and I met through a mutual friend here in Vegas, and she was with, I think It Works already, and I watched her for a year, you guys. I legit blocked her twice, almost blocked her twice. I think I actually blocked her one of the times because I was like, this girl with her perfect body and these products that don't work needs to get off my page. But of course, I liked every single post. So before I got into It Works, I started my own social media agency. So, that was what I was doing for 2 years, and I thought I loved it. And I just came to a point where I hated everything about it. And then one day Alyssa was like, all right, who wants more information? Like, this is the time to join. I had a friend that was doing it, and I actually messaged him and I was like, are you actually making money with this? And he was really standoffish about it. So I was like, don't want to be with you. And so I messaged Alyssa and I was like, okay, like give me the spiel. And I was totally like, I asked her being a business owner, like I asked her every question. I was like, girl, I need to know, like, what is this? What are my taxes? Like, what am I going to do? How does it work? Like it was like, I think a 2-hour conversation. And I was like, all right, let me think about it. And then 2 days later, I was like, all right, I'm ready. Like, let's just do this. And so I signed up. I went executive my first month. I went Ruby my second, right after conference. And then to be honest, I was like, listen, I'm Ruby. I'm the shit right now. Like everyone's going to join me. Like I just got my 500 bonus. Like, and I just kind of lost myself. Like I kind of just, and I think that's something a lot of people don't hear that. I just kind of hung out. Like I posted every day, but I didn't work the business at all. I thought I was working it, and I definitely didn't. And then the $10 deal came around, and I don't know. I was like, you know what? I got to go after this, and it's the time right now. So during the $10 deal, I boxed myself for diamond. A couple of days later, I was 3 away from double diamond. So now I'm just boxed and ready to push and get myself to diamond. So it's been exciting. It's been an exciting adventure, I'll tell you that. But I think I just kind of finally came to a point where it was like, this is it. Like every bone, I had a moment where every bone in my body said that, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I got rid of all my social media clients. And now I'm really focused on making this my thing. So yeah.
I seriously love that. I love that, like, you are like, normally I don't sound like this, you guys. Just so you guys have never heard me before, I literally don't always sound like this, I promise. I'm like gonna be up on stage being like, oh, I'm just a girl going through puberty, it's fine. One of the things that I love about your story, because I actually feel like this happens to some people when they get to diamond, is that they get comfortable because that's a really comfortable income. But I do think it does happen to a lot of people at Ruby, is they just get to the point where they're like, people are just going to start coming to me, like, I haven't made, like, basically I'm just going to post and not really like work this business like a business. So I think that I love that you're just like so open and honest about it. But like, what point do you feel like, and we'll get into like the detail, like organization stuff later, but I'm just so interested in this part of it. So like, what do you feel like was like a turning point? Like you said, at one point there was every bone in your body when you were like, I want to do that. But like, what do you think like led up to that? So like, how would you tell somebody who's on your team or who is going to be on your team in the future who might have a similar struggle to get through that? Like, what was that moment for you, or was it like a culmination of moments?
I think it was just, I started really focusing. It was self-development, and it goes back to, again, I watched my Zooms and I did my, what I thought was doing right. But when you're not applying the Zooms, you're still not running your business. Like you could listen to I've watched every Tiffany her, I've watched your videos, I've watched Lachelle's, I've watched everybody. But if you don't apply it, you're not going to go anywhere with it. So I think it just came, and even when I first started, I'll never forget, Lachelle was like, well, this is how you do your hundreds list, and I texted Alyssa and I was like, this is not going to work. Like I think I'm worse than her. Like, and I separated my hundreds list by like alphabetical order, and Lachelle was like, okay. So I think where it really clicked was I just started creating my own schedule. Like I started like and I think it was the Miracle Morning. I read that and I do my savers every single day now. And from there it was like, okay, how do I organize myself to where I am treating it like a business? I am a business person. Like I know what it takes to build a business. So it was just one of those things where it was like, all right, this is it. Like it's got to happen or it's never going to happen. And I just started visualizing myself and, being a triple diamond and doing all of that. And I started really like doing every single day something to help my business. And I just one day I texted Lachelle too. And I was like, I just cried because I could see myself and I could feel it that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So it may not be moving as fast as I'd like it to, but you know what? I think we all go through that point. And the nice thing about it is that I'm learning how to be a leader, and I'm coaching my team and I'm working with them one-on-one. So if you're sitting at executive, Ruby, Emerald, whatever, take pride in that level because I'm still paying my bills and I'm still getting money from the company. So it's not like I may not be a diamond, but you know what? It's changed my life to where I can stay at home and only work 2 days a week and still pay my bills. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a diamond or a double or a triple to be a leader and make things happen for yourself wherever you're at right now. Just commit to yourself that, you know what, this is a business. You're going to run it like a business and it'll pay off in the end, I think.
I seriously love that so much. Like literally I'm obsessed with self-development. Like I have to stop myself because I want to do it so much. But I love too, because like one thing that every Zoom I've watched, people, I'm like, what was the aha moment? People either are getting to an event, but there's a second part to getting into an event because at the event, you get to this emotional level where you just make a decision. Okay. Yeah. And that's literally all it is. And it sounds too simple and people don't believe it until it actually happens to them. But you either, whether you're at an event or not, or whether you're just fed up and enough is enough of what the standards of life that you're holding yourself to. And literally people are just make a decision. I mean, that's what it was for me. I literally was like, no, I'm just doing this. Like, I don't really know how I'm going to do it, but like, I know I'm going to do it. And like the compound effect. And there's like all these amazing things about like, how it's not about like, oh, one day you just message 150 people and you find that diamond in the rough and that one day you message all these people. No, it's not about that. It's about the consistency and doing it all the freaking time, every single day. So people that are out there that are struggling, like my biggest piece of advice is A, make the decision, but B, set daily goals for yourself that you can do every single day that aren't going to be like message 100 people because you can't do that every single day. You have to find something that you can do on your worst day, but also, can you still hear me? I feel like everybody just, okay. Can you still hear me? Is it breaking up?
Are you there?
Yeah. Is it breaking up?
I can see you. No, you're good now.
Okay. So I just feel like the realistic goals is something you can do on your worst day and something you can do on your best day. Okay. So tell us some of your organization tips. One of the biggest things I would love to know how you organize is who you're going to message, like who you're going to reach out to. What does that look like? Your 100 list, how do you organize that? How are you getting new potentials?
So as far as organization goes, I think the first step to really be successful when you guys, I'm like really OCD. Like I am. I use Trello for everything. I should just throw that out there because I feel like your hundreds list are great and all, but if you don't take your hundreds list to, when you're sitting getting your oil changed or when you're, shopping or you're waiting for your coffee, if you can't work on something, I feel like you're missing a lot of opportunities. So for me, Trello was great because if I'm sitting somewhere waiting or my boyfriend's driving, I can work on my list. And you'll see them. I'll show you guys. But I think just first of all is just getting your mind organized. I just went to an Eric Worre event recently here in Vegas, and something that he said was, we look at it as like, okay, we started a business. Woo, we're all business owners now. And then the next day we're like, well, I'm taking the day off because I own my own business. Versus, you have your job and you're going to your job every single day because you have to. Like, you're going to lose your job. You're going to get written up. You're going to get fired. Like, and then what? So if you treat it like a job, you're more likely to do it. You know what I mean? So every single, like Sundays or Mondays, I'll sit down, I'll look at my schedule and I'll be like, okay, on Monday, I'm going to work on my business. I'll schedule my power hours. So I'll work 12 to 1 and then I'll go to the gym and then maybe I'll do an evening one, but I'll schedule them. And around that time, I will not do anything else but focus on what I scheduled myself for, because then you're treating it like a job and I have to show up and I have to do the work, or, for us, we don't get paid. So I really think getting yourself organized on a weekly basis as well as daily. So as far as like the compound effect, and we just had a Zoom with Charity, finding your 6 list, like before you go to bed, have a list of 6 things that you have to do every single day. For me, I wrote it down. Letter engagement. So I engage with 1 letter a day. Messages, follow-ups. I mean, whatever your 6 that you feel like is necessary to get your business going every day, just do them. Do them every single day. Write them down for the next day, and then make sure you check them off every single day. So that's as far as like getting your mind right, and also schedule your development. Like if you don't schedule yourself, so anytime I get ready, I'm always listening to Zooms. If I'm driving, if I miss the Zoom, I'm listening to a Zoom. You know what I mean? But every single morning it's a different Zoom. And I think I've seen some of Tiffany's like 10 times now, because I just play them in the background, because it's like, oh yeah, she's telling me again. I feel like she's talking to my soul, like, gotta do this. So that's as far as like getting your mind. Like I have like notes, like I'm that crazy. So as far as potentials go, so I don't know, I'm going to try to screen share so you guys can see. Okay. Can you guys see that? Can you see my computer?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So these are like my dailies right here. So this is Trello. If you've never used it, it's just a third-party like website, and you can download the app on your phone. So wherever you're going, it uploads automatically. It syncs to the website and your phone app. So like these are my daily to-dos. So once I'm done, I move them over. So you can see I've done my savers. I do everything at nighttime just because I think better at night. But you can see like my 6 list daily. But this is where it gets really fun. So if you go, these are my lists, right? So I track everything like it's nobody's business, just because that's just how I think. But I have my hundreds list. So this is my hundreds that I'm like, you know what? I like you. You're going to be something somewhere one day. And those are the people that I just put down. Every day when I come across somebody, I'll put them down. But if I'm focusing on trying to find like potentials, what I'll do is first, I have a Facebook list and I have an Instagram list. If you guys have not seen that with Ashley, you can create collections. So anybody that I come across while I'm engaging and doing my daily letter engagements, if I'm like, you know what, I kind of like her, I want to keep my eye on her, I'll add them to those lists. And then out of those lists, I'll actually pull only 20 people, 15 to 20 people I'll focus on for that week. And this is something I learned from Claire Flores, because I was so overwhelmed with how many people I wanted to talk to. I realized if I just focused on, and this goes back to the compound effect, if you focus on a smaller amount of people and you do the exact same schedule every single time, you're going to find your diamonds. So this is my people that I focus on Facebook. These are my Instagram people for this week. So I legit, every single day, I just go through and I'm like, all right, I'm going to see what Crystal's doing today. And if she's got a new post, I'll just comment on it, or maybe I'll find something to message her about it. And you can see like how many times I engage with them. And so like she just had, her family had the flooding in, I believe they were in Houston or Florida, one of them. So I checked in with her actually to make sure that, her family's doing okay and whatever not. And something like that is what like really makes everything makes a huge difference because you're actually taking the time to get to know people. So that's what I do as far as like when I focus on specific people that I want to like you're on my like target list. Like I want you and you're going to be somewhere. So from there, if I send them an opportunity message, so if I introduce the business or they ask me about the business or whatever it may be, they go on the opportunity message. And these are all the people that I've messaged and be like, girl, I really think, I keep seeing your posts. Like there's something about you, like you need to be on this. These people have not responded yet, obviously, but you can see like, and I just started being like super like crazy about this list a couple of months ago, but I always keep that list clean. So like I just followed with everybody and you can see how many times I've checked in with them. I messaged them, asked a question, like I've tried to engage with them as much as I can. If they respond even once and they're like, okay, like what does that mean? You planted a seed in their head and they're going on the talking business. So that means something that you said to them got their attention. So these are all of my people. So these are the true distributor potentials right here, right? So these are the people that I'm like, we're going to talk. And you can see Savannah, somebody that I've been engaging with for a while now. And then if I've tried to follow up with them multiple times and they're just ignoring me now, they'll go on this list. And this is like I'm going to check in with you every couple of weeks, but I'm not going to waste too much time on you guys because every week I'm talking to new people. So that's just how it is. The product list is anybody that has ever liked or commented on my posts about any kind of product. And I've reached out and again, they responded, even if it's like, thanks girl, or I'm just showing love. I know that I planted a seed and I know that they're going to be watching. They go on the product lead list. Now, the reason why I organize my stuff like this, and I'll show you guys why having a digital copy is so amazing, because if I just click like search, move this out of the way. If I click wraps, let's say we're having a BOGO wraps and I just search that page. I don't know if it's going to let me, but I'll just search wraps and you see how it pops up everybody that has ever been interested in the wraps. Like cleanse is one of my big things right now. So like, look at all of these people. So if I'm having a BOGO and cleanse, I can message all these people and be like, girl, I know you've been thinking about this. Like it's going down. Like you need this. If they become a loyal customer, they go in the loyal customer. So these are like all my new ones. And you can see, again, OCD, ThermoFit. So I have their months, how many times they've processed their auto ship and what they've gotten that auto ship. Like this one, Tish, is a weight loss challenge. So I like to challenge my weight loss people and I'll say you'll get a free wrap if you lose your first 10 pounds. So I know to keep checking on her to make sure she's, she has everything she needs from me. But that's just a good way to kind of upkeep with your loyals too. And then obviously our distributors as well. Again, OCD. So like Sarah just started. I made sure that I had my phone call with her. So I go over and I do a training one-on-one. She's filled out her tax. She's logged into her eSuite. She's added to the dream team. She's added to my training album. She's fast start qualified. And I keep track of them this way until they hit 400 club. And then I know like, okay, this girl's ready to go on her own because she's been through everything. We've talked about everything. Like she's ready to kind of move on. So that's just how I track everything. And then not interested, I don't ever delete them out of my life. They'll always go in here because most of 3 of my enrollments during the $10 deal were people that I've said that they're not interested. So I just go back to them every couple of months and just, hey, I know you said you weren't, interested this time, but how do you feel about right now type of thing. So that's just how I organize everything. And then, like I said, the best part about it is everything is in your hands. So you have no excuses not to work your business at the grocery store, while you're waiting at the doctor's office or getting your oil change or wherever you're at. Like you always have your list to work off of and build that list. But yeah, anybody that I have a feeling about, I just add them to folders first. And then if I want to focus on them for that week, I'll add them to my 20s list.
So this is really amazing. Yeah, this is amazing. It's super intense because I'm the least OCD person ever. So this is giving
I'm crazy.
life.
if I don't have lists, you guys, I will not get anything done. Like I have to put everything on paper or, you know, and I still have a planner too. So like I've started scheduling when people are like, oh yeah, I have questions about, you know, the cleanse. I'm like, okay, girl, let's talk. And I'll schedule them at a time that I know they're going to be available, and I'll call them. Or all of my DTs, like potentials, I interview people now. It's not anymore of like oh yeah, anybody can join my team. I'll interview people, you know, and I'll be like, okay, like, I just hope you know these are the requirements. Like, I need you to be focused, because if you're not going to do that, there's no reason for both of us to waste our time. Like, I'm very like red when it comes to that stuff.
So what do you say in your interview? Like, what are some questions that you ask?
So I go over the opportunity. I ask them if they've ever heard about it. I'll just be like, okay, you know, what questions do you have? We'll go over like payments. We'll go over auto ship. Cause I feel like a lot of people get like, when they start up, they're like, oh, I have to have an auto ship. And I'm like, so I make sure they know why you have to have an auto ship, why it's important, why I have an auto ship. You know, anything like, I'm like, well, what are you looking at? So I know immediately why they're doing it. If they're doing it just, you know, cause they are, you know, I'll tell you now, there are a lot of people that sign up just to get the product for cheaper. You know, like when we had the $10 thing, a lot of people signed up just to get the reps, you know? And so, which was great and all, but if you want to go long-term, you have to look at it again as a business. And if, you know, do we hire everybody that comes off the street that needs a job? Like, no, like they have to want this for them, want to put in the work, you know? So I tell them, like, you have to post daily. Like, we'll put you through everything and we'll give you the trainings, but you have to do it. Like, if you're not doing it, it's out of my hands. Like, I can help you so much, but I'm not going to do it for you.
That is like literally amazing. I love that technique. Okay. So, when you're like adding people to your network, like, I think this is a big question that everybody just likes to hear different people's opinions on. Where do you typically go to find people that you're adding to your network? And when did you start doing this in your business?
Day one, I started adding. But it was honestly like when I sat down a couple months ago where I was like, okay, this is like it. That's when I really started focusing. For Facebook, I'll go through like my loyal customers first, but I just go through their friends. And so then if I find, or if I'm engaging, so this is a good one. If you're engaging with a letter a day, so like, let's say today's the letter S. So I'm going through all of the S's and commenting and liking. If I see a post that got a lot of engagement, I'll go through her posts and people that have commented or liked and add those girls. You know, if there's somebody that look like, you know, that I want to be friends with, that I'm interested in, that I can connect with, I'll add them. On Instagram, I tend to go to, like, so for me, I'm a makeup artist. So I'll go to things like influencer, which I'm one of the influencers on there. So I'll go through, you know, the people that like makeup things, because I can connect with those people. And most importantly, like, all of those people are spending so much money on products. So I can message them and be like, oh my God, I love your page. Do you get paid to talk about product? Like, did you get paid by the company, you know? And then I can kind of point it out to them and connect with them. Like, you know, I'm a makeup artist. I try to break it into the blogger world, and I was like, too much work. I can't do this. Nobody's getting paid for years for this. So you have to find somebody that you can really connect with. Whatever, maybe if you're a mom, like, you know, look for moms. If you're a college student, look for college students. I just started looking at people because we're talking about maybe possibly moving to South Carolina. So I just started looking at people in South Carolina because I can message them and be like, oh my God, I'm totally thinking about moving here. Like, what do you recommend? Like, what areas do you recommend? So it's more of a friendship than it is just like, hey girl, do you want to join my business? Do you want to join my team? You know, so you got to find something to connect with when you're talking to people.
Okay, sorry, my son is crying in the back. But could you just expand on, like, how do you like go about like that initial message? So somebody caught your eye, like, what does that like message look like?
So most of the people, when I first message, so remember I do the 20 a week. So I focus only on those 20 people. Like, I'll find things, like what Charity calls a friendly message. So ask him about something that, like, you be genuine about it. You know, do you really like their dress that you saw in one of their pictures? Ask them where they got it. You know, when you build a relationship in the chat in their DM, like that's where you can really kind of slip in the business. Just be, you know, girl, you know, if they're like, I wish I could buy that dress, or I wish I could buy that lipstick that you're wearing, you know, girl, do you want to sling some raps with me? Because you know, you can make it more personal versus, you know, another like scripted message, you know, hey, has anybody asked you about It Works, or do you want to join my It Works team? Like, it's more of like talking to your best friend. Like if I talk to my friend, I'm going to be like, well, you know, you've seen what I'm doing. Like you can totally join me or not. Like it's up to you. I know you need the money. Like I have a potential loyal customer, and she brought it up. She's like, yeah, I see you post that all the time. I'm like, girl, you know so many people. You're a nurse. You're a baseball mom. Like if you really want it, like just let me know. And then it's not as much pressure, and it doesn't feel like a cold message. It just feels like you're talking to a friend, and they're more likely to trust you. And if by the end of the week, I don't feel like I've built that relationship with them yet, I won't ask them. I'll just roll them over to the next week.
No, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. So once you build that connection and you have that common interest to talk about, and you kind of introduce the business, how do you like explain it? Like, do you say like if they're like, yeah, I would be interested in getting more information, or whatever, like what is the next thing that you kind of do? Like once they respond and you put them in that category of like, they're semi-interested, whatever. Do you try to get them on the phone? Like, what is your like best tip for like kind of taking that next step?
I think you have to really feel them out, because some people I've been like, oh yeah, text me, girl, like let's get on the phone, because it's, you know, especially if you're on Instagram, it's a lot harder, and then you just never hear from them, and you're like, oh, just kidding, like she probably thinks I'm crazy just hanging on my phone number. So for some people that if I've been talking to them for a while and the trust is there, I'll be like, you know, why don't we just get on the phone, because obviously I think you're amazing, and I know you're amazing, so we might as well just talk about it. But otherwise, I'm just kind of like, you know, what do you do? So depending if they're like, for example, a makeup blogger, I'll be like, well, you know, I get paid to talk about products the same way you do. You know, I mix in like my makeup. If you ever see my Instagram, like I have makeup photos, and I just mix in what I already do and my makeup stuff. And I talk about, you know, what I use. Like that's it. I do live videos, and I just kind of explain it depending on what they're posting. So I mean, I'm not a mom, so I can't connect to moms as much, but if it's, you know, if it is a mom that I'm talking to, I'll be like, you know, it's an extra couple of $100 for, you know, family vacation, or I know kids grow real fast. Like I have a dog, I buy everything for my dog, so I can only imagine what it is to be a parent. So it's things like that. I think you have to just make it personal. Like you have to apply it for them to be able to understand like what they're going to get out of it, versus being like, oh yeah, you can just, you know, talk about products and you'll make some money, versus why is it that they're going to want it over, you know, another company? Like why you gotta connect on that level. So if it's a makeup person, it's, you know, well, you're already talking about it. Like if you just add a couple more bottles, you know, in between, like you're already doing what you're doing. If it's a mom, it's telling her why, you know, where the money's going to go. If it's, you know, a college student, those books were like $150 when I was in college. So I can only imagine how much they are now. It's like, that's 1 month of, you know, for whatever executive, or I don't even know, but you know what I mean? Like it's 1 week, weekly bonus, like you can pay for that book that you need, you know? So it's just finding what they're going to get out of it and kind of connecting with them on that level.
Yeah, no, I love that. I always say like the moment you join, it stops being about you.
Yeah.
Because like I think so many people are like, well, I haven't even made that much money, or I haven't done this, or I haven't done that. And I'm like, if you're talking about how much money you've made, you're doing it wrong, because you're talking about how much money they can make from it.
I was going to say, the less money you make, I feel like it's easier sometimes. Like, you know, like I see Lachelle and you, and, you know, Lachelle's like, I made this much. And I'm like, God, I can't wait to be there. But at the same time, like you're getting the people that are so skeptical, that are like, there is no way in hell that girl is making, and I'm like, do you see her picture? Do you see that zero? Like it's happening. So I feel like when you're making just the extra $200 or just the extra $500 as a Ruby, you're kind of like, you have like moms, I feel like have, you know, the mom advantage. Like we as Rubies and Emeralds have that, like, because we're just normal people. We still work normal jobs, and we're just making extra money for groceries, for, you know, diaper, like whatever it may be, it's just a little extra money, and then when the weekly bonus comes around, that's my savings money. Like that goes straight into my savings. So whatever it is, I feel like us, I don't want to say little people, but like us, rubies and emeralds, like we have that advantage, you guys, where we can be like, well, I'm doing it. So, it's easy for you. And people are like, oh, I'm busy. No, you're not. I run, my 2 other businesses, my boyfriend's business. We're both entrepreneurs. Like I run around like a crazy person helping everybody with everything. Like, trust me, you have time.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the hardest things when I'm trying to get organized is I feel like it takes so much time to get organized. What would you say is like the best tip for somebody who's not organized? Where should they start? And how much time would you say you actually spend organizing?
So I would say once you find a routine that works for you, stick to it. And I think that's where I got lost too, is because I was trying to find, I was trying to do something that Lachelle was doing or that Alyssa was doing, or, everybody else's videos. I'm like, oh, I want to try that. Like it's working for them. It's going to work for me. And it doesn't work like that. Find a routine, and it took me like 4 months to figure out that paper like drives me crazy because I can't do it. Like I have an iPad Pro, like it's just, that's how I chart. But once you find a routine and it's going to take time to figure it out. But once you find it that works for you and it's brought success to you, stick to it. When I figured out Trello, I was like sticking to it. I had like enrolled 3 DTs one time and everyone was like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know. But then I deviated from it. I was like, there's got to be a better way, and then I stopped enrolling again. So stick to your routine. And once you develop a system that works for you, it only takes me like, it takes me like an hour at the beginning of the week to kind of get organized. And throughout the week, I find my people that I focus on. And once you get your little people in there, that's it. But when you have something like Trello, you can never say, well, I have so many pages of so many people and I don't know where to start. Well, when you go into Trello, you could be like, okay, well, there's all these opportunity people that need to be followed up with. There are all these product people that need to be followed up with. What are we pushing right now? Is there BOGO? Great. I can call all these BOGO people, so it's just easier to find things. So you're not spending as much time searching. Like, do you know how long it would take me to look up my wrap people between all my chicken scratches and highlighters when I had the hundreds list? It would take more time than to actually message somebody. And then you're like, where did my day go? Versus now I just go in here and I'm like, oh, type in wraps. Here are all my people, Susie, Joan, and I just message them right away and get it out of the way. So once you figure out a system, stick to it because it's going to save you a lot of time.
I love it. I seriously think that that's awesome. So do you have any other, like, I'm like so obsessed with you get a free wrap if you've lost 10 pounds. Like I'm literally going to do that. I'm going to bribe myself to do that, but then I'm also going to bribe my loyal customers to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And
do you have any other like incentives that you do that are like that?
Yeah. So I get a lot of my loyal customers like getting other people to post for me now. Like I post product and stuff, but all of my potentials come from other people's networks, whether it be your loyal customers or whoever. And I just bribe all of the people like that. So if I post, I want a free wrap, you're going to get tons of people on there. And I'll just message all those people and I'm like, all right, girl, here's how you earn your free wrap. Like it's not, it's free, but it's not free. So I just have people post for me. And that's where I get a lot of my potentials and a lot of my LCs from, is because I just get other people that have, their network and then they tag me in it and I just use that. So that's my biggest one. But weight loss challenge, I do that just for my weight loss people. Just because I feel like they want to be rewarded for it versus like, well, when am I losing weight? I give them a goal to reach. So, and I noticed that worked for one of my first loyal customers when I first started. She wanted to try the wraps. She really wanted to lose weight for a wedding. And I was like, great. Well, if you lose 10 pounds, like I'm going to hook you up. Like I'm going to give you a free wrap, Also referrals. I always tell people, I'm like, if you can't buy right now, or if you find somebody else, a lot of the times when people like the objection, sorry, this just popped up. If they're like, I can't afford it. Like I don't really go I won't go into the business right away. Because a lot of people are at that point, like, I know if they can't afford a $25 product, like, it's going to take a lot of effort to get them into the $99 to launch. So I'll be like, okay, no problem. Like, I really know you want to try a product. So why don't we have you post for me? And I'm going to give you some free stuff. And so then they're like, okay, and then they get all excited over that. And I usually do a wrap for the first 2 loyal customers, and that's it. Like, so I'll be like, if you get 2 orders out of it, I'll give you a wrap. Like, that's it. That's awesome. You can try it and you don't have to buy anything. And then if people start commenting, like, I'll get some that post, and there'll be like 20 comments of like people wanting to try it. I'll be like, girl, do you see this? Like, there's so many people commenting. I'm having issues like keeping up with people. Like, have you honestly ever thought about joining as a distributor? Because you could have all these potentials, and so that's how I bring it into the conversation without being like, oh, you can't afford it. Well, it sounds like you need it even more than ever, so it's just more so of like, okay, you can't afford it. Well, let's get you a free product. And then when they see how many people are interested, then you kind of have a better in of like, have you thought about being a distributor? Because you got all these potentials, and that's, X amount of people. And usually it's like 20. I've had somebody 20, 25 comments, and I was like, I cannot keep up with this. Like, and that's where all those cleanses come from. Any of those posts, people love instant gratification. If you give them instant gratification, they're like, yes, how do I get that? So
yeah, for sure. So when you have people post for you, do you do the ThermoFit post or the cleanse post?
No, I do the cleanse, because I feel like people,
the one that's like, if you're looking to lose like 2 to 6 pounds or something like that, that one.
It's just like, it's the same post. It's like if you scroll through my page, because I approve them all mostly for the most part on my page. Because then my loyals or my potentials, I get a lot of my potentials that have been saying no, seeing somebody else post about it, and then they'll comment on it. And I still give credit to the person that posted it, because my potential that's been watching me and that will not respond to my messages, commented on her post. And I'm like, this is somebody that I know, but I'm going to give you credit because, I just like you so, whatever it may be. But yeah, I do the cleanse because there's nothing, more people love is to lose weight in 2 days. Like, let's be real.
Oh my gosh, that is gold. Like, I'm seriously using all these tips. I'm so in love with this. Okay. So
it's easier. I don't know. So I get people to do my work for me, basically.
Yeah. So if they have like 20 comments, you obviously introduce the business. If not, and they're just like, there's like 4 or 5 comments and like 1 or 2 people purchase something. Let's say you give them the wrap. How do you like, have you ever had people be like, okay, here's the wrap to them. You give them the wrap and they're like, oh, well, I want to have 4, but I still can't afford it. Or what do you how do you move forward from that point? And then I have another question, but you can answer that one first.
Most of the people that post for me have at some point showed interest. So if I say, do you want a free wrap? They're always going to be a wrap potential, right? Because obviously they want wraps. So if I give them 1 wrap and I follow up with them, usually they'll be like, oh my God, this is amazing, and if they still can't afford it, then it's like, because I do get posts that, 1 person comments they're interested in. Then I kind of break it down for them. Like I go back into the traditional, well, you can, do you know 4 people that would support you? Because you get 4 products. And what I've noticed works for me, instead of saying you get 4 free wraps, I try to tell people like you basically you can either buy a pack of, wraps for $59 as a loyal customer. You can buy them one time as $99, or you can buy them one time as $99 and get a business. So like, I kind of show them because a lot of people I've noticed, I don't know why, because I paid $600 to start my business, my other one, but they're very skeptical of the fact that you have to buy into a business. It blows my mind why, I don't know. But if you tell them that they're buying the wraps and they can get the business for free and make some money, I feel like, again, it kind of goes away from like the skeptic side of it. And then they're like, okay, well, I get the product. That makes sense. Like, all right. But I just asked them like, okay, do you know 4 people that can help you out? And I list it for them because, and this is something from Eric Worre too. He's like, if you're helping people and you're talking to potentials, help them build that list already. I'd be like, okay, well, do you have, who's your best friend? Like, how many best friends do you have? Like, I see there's 4 people in this picture. Like, are these your best friends? Great. 2 of them will buy. What about your mom? Like, my mom loves me enough to buy a wrap. Like that's just weird to me if it's, I don't know. But, or, what about your boyfriend's mom? Like, are you on good terms with her? So like start building that list, in their head. So they're like, oh yeah, like I actually had a potential today on Snapchat out of all the places. And I was like, she's like, well, I just don't have the money. And I'm like, okay, well, do you know 4 people? Like, do you, have this person and that person, you get 4 wraps, you can sell them and you'll make that money back or whatever. And she's like, oh my God, really? And I'm like, yeah, like, so that tells you a lot of people don't know that that's an option. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't realize, they feel like they have to use those wraps. But if you tell them like, sell those wraps, like right away, they'll be like, that makes sense. Like totally makes sense, So, yeah, I just build a potentials list in their head, because even then, if they're already thinking about it, then they're like, okay, I know all these people. Like I can actually like work with all these people. Like you go to baseball game if you have a kid. Well, he plays soccer, doesn't he? Like how many soccer moms do you know? Like, that's a lot of people you're talking to about absolutely nothing. And they're all stressed out because they got to get on time and cook dinner and everything. Hi, confianza, so it's just helping them understand that like there's potential there. And then they get more comfortable with it because they're like, okay, first off, Sonya's going to help me with this. Like she's not just saying, all right, join and have fun, because you're helping them already before they even started. But then you're already showing them how to be profitable in the business too. And then you go into, and then we'll get, if you get your 2 loyal customers, you're going to get wrap rewards, and you can buy them for $25 and you can sell those, and, and then go into that way. So showing them different ways of that they can make the money, I think makes them more comfortable. So yeah. I hope that answered your question.
No, for sure. It did. I think that like sometimes we just overcomplicate it. So I think that like just hearing them, like when you make it so simple, like I feel like so many people like complicate the business, and it's like, you guys, to be charted for your first promotion, it's 2 people. Like you need like 2 people. Stop telling people it's 5. Right.
I was like, I'm gonna make $100 off of you, and you're gonna
right. And I think that like so many, like, it's just like, it's really not that complicated. It's super simple. And I love the fact that you were saying, you can start the business for free. You're just buying the product, because I do think that like traditionally we're like, why would we have to pay to start a business? But you don't think about it. You have to pay to get your real estate license. You have to pay to get your law degree. You have to pay, to get scrubs. If you're a nurse, you're paying for that before you even start. And I think that all that stuff, like, it's just not, people don't think of it that way. And the worst thing you can do when you're talking to potential is get defensive, because then they're like, oh, well, why should get defensive if there's nothing to get defensive about? So I always just say, like, oh my God, like I laugh it off most of the time when people say stuff to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so funny, because I literally thought the exact same thing until I stopped being ignorant. And they're like, damn, is she calling me ignorant? And I'm like, I'm kind of am, because, like you have to say it in a way though that they're not going to get like pissed. But I'm always just like, it doesn't make sense. Like you have to think about it in this way. And your job as a distributor, whatever rank you are in the company, your job is to change people's perspective. Start breaking down those stereotypes. Start breaking down those walls, and watch their mind just open up to the opportunity. It doesn't happen overnight. And so you can't get frustrated with them for not understanding something that you've been in for months or years even. So I love that. And I love that you already have like the business mindset. So I think that helps a lot, because, it is so true.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, well, why would, I'm skeptical buying in. I'm like, girl, let me tell you, I literally just last February paid like $700 because I missed, because you're supposed to have I didn't know this, Clark and state license. And I was like, oh crap. So like I had all these fees. So it's like, there's so much to it that people don't understand. Like they all, think of LuLaRoe, like they have to pay like $5,000 to buy them, because they need to have, all the items to sell. Like it's crazy. And people don't understand that. Like $99 is cheap. And people that aren't willing to pay the $99, they're not willing to work for the $99, you don't want them on your team anyways, because they're not going to work, because they don't, you know what I mean? Like they don't feel like they're missing anything. Like you want people that are willing to put in the money and willing to do their auto ship and willing to like try everything, because you have to invest in your business, no matter what kind of business it is, to get to get something back. And if you're not investing, you're basically just hanging out and having a party. So I think you guys should always understand that, like, if somebody's like, if you're having to beg somebody, like, you don't want them on your team, because you're gonna be begging them to work too, and that's not gonna get you anywhere.
Yeah, I think that like we all saw that when we had $9 people sign up. Like, they don't have as much skin in the game. So if it was free to sign up, you guys, they wouldn't work because they have nothing to lose. So when you're going through your day to day, we have a lot of people asking, can you share what you do every single day? What's on your daily to-do list, like your 6 list? And just to reiterate the importance of, like, why a 6 list? Why not just a regular to-do list? And what's like, what have you learned? This is a question I'm interested in. What have you learned in this business that you didn't know in your other businesses or weren't forced to learn?
Well, to start with the daily, so this is going to sound really silly, but the first thing that I always do is make my bed. I don't know where I caught that on, like, one of the motivational videos, and that was years ago. And my mom always used to say that too. Always make your bed when you first start, because that's one thing you cross off your checklist, and you'll feel more motivated to start working on other things. So if there's anything that you've done that day, you should be proud of yourself for making your bed. Then I do my savers. So if you guys have not read Miracle Mornings, it's life-changing. Savers stands for, so it's silence, affirmation, visualize, exercise, reading, and scribble. It sounds so complicated, but it's not. It's like 1 minute of each thing. So, like, I start with silence. When I wake up, I come to my little office that I have now, and I just sit in my big fluffy chair, and I just kind of like zone everything out for like 1 minute, and just kind of like take a deep breath and call it good. Affirmations, just start, telling yourself what you see. I'm a huge law of attraction person. So I use the Money app, which has like your daily affirmations. And there's another one called Attractions, I believe. And that basically you create your own wishes, and it puts it in a present tense. So like for me, it's like, I'm diamond, you know what I mean? Like whatever. And it builds it up, and you just read it. It's like 15 seconds. Visualize. I always visualize myself sitting down on the floor at conference, because that's what really changed my perspective when I went to conference. I was like, I want to be down there. I don't want to fight for seats. Like, that's where I want to be. I want to be freezing on the ice next year. Exercise, like that's like 1 minute. So I do, sounds so silly, but I do 20 push-ups, 50 sit-ups or 50 crunches, and 20 squats. And that's just to get your blood pumping. And it goes back to the compound effect. When you're doing that every single day, like it may not be a big deal now, but when you're doing it every single day for a year, 2 years, 3 years, it adds up. So it's just to get you going for the day. Reading, I do the Bible app. So I'll pick like a plan for that week or whatever it may be. So right now it's like a leadership. And I just go in and read the devotion and just read like the scriptures. It again, 1 minute. And then I scribble. I do my daily gratitude. So I always start that way, and I will not, kind of like I think Cassie was saying on the other Zoom, like my phone, everything is on silent. I won't open my computer until I've done that, because it just gets you going the right way. It preps you for the day. So if anything, you've done that checklist and you've mentally prepared yourself for what's about to happen. And it gets you in a positive state, because if you're not being positive about the business, your life, and whatever's happening, nothing's going to come out of it. You could do all the work, but if you're not being positive and have a positive mental status or whatever you want to call it, you won't move anywhere. And then my 6th list is letter engagement. So every single day, I go in and just pick a letter. So, whatever I did, like tea or I don't know. And I go in and I just engage with those people. So that's it. Because when you're doing a smaller list, you're more likely to get it done than when you're not doing it. So I go through and I just engage with everybody. And then I send messages, whether it's follow-up, just friendly messages, like building new relationships, like whatever, or respond to messages, whatever I have outgoing. And then actually messages is friendly. Follow-up is next. So like anybody that I need to follow up. So if they're scheduled, so today I had 2 cleanses that I needed to follow up with. So as soon as I get off, I'm going to be messaging them and being like, hey girl, I know we were talking about this. Can you jump on a call really fast? Let's put that order in. Expand network. So spend, X amount of time adding on Facebook, and then adding on Instagram, because that's something that if you're not expanding your network, you're not running your business. Newsfeed, just engagement. I'll do this if I'm like, if I need a moment to myself and I feel like Netflixing, I will watch Netflix and I will sit there and just like newsfeed. So I'm always doing something. But if I just feel like I need Netflix, which is not to say it's okay, but I don't cut things out. I just put them in my life. Like I try to cut out Netflix and it didn't work out. So I try to find reasons. If I'm going to watch Netflix, I better be liking the newsfeed or engaging with somebody. And then my other one is team challenge. So we have a team chat. I do have a team page as well, which is really OCD, like crazy OCD. But every day I send a challenge out to my team. So like today, where I'm hosting my first product party online on Sunday. So I shared it this morning. So I just messaged my team and I said, hey guys, challenge, share this to your page right now. And then everybody shares it. And people who are getting it done are the people that, I will spend time helping grow, because I know they're engaging every single day. It may be like a before and after. So like the other day I was like, I just posted a before and after, pick your favorite product and post the before and after. Let me know when you're done. And then they just respond done, and I go through and I say, make sure you tag me in the comments, because that starts engagement. So I go in and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited, and engage on their page, which brings more people. And yeah, that's my 6 lists. So that's what I have to do every single day. Everything else, whatever I feel like spending more time, but I try to do that in a power hour so that I'm not taking up too much time.
So my question is, and one thing that I really like about what you do is it seems like you don't really have like a number, you have more of a time. Like it's not like you're sending out like X number of messages, you're doing X number of engagement, you're doing that specific task for a specific time amount. So there's like a correlation between like the starting and stopping. So is that true, or like do you just kind of set your timer, or how do you do that?
100%. I think it's more of a timer. Actually, if there's an app called 3030, I'll have to find it and send it to you guys. It's called 3030, and you can set up your 7 list or your power hour just on that. So you literally go through and you're like, okay, I want to spend 5 minutes on this, 10 minutes on this, and it'll set off by itself too. So I like to personally do it on time, because if I have a list of like, I need to send 20 messages right now, do you know how much that's going to drag out if I'm like, I don't want to do this, like, versus like if I put a time limit, I might send more than 20 messages. Or if you set up a number, like you're more likely to be like, yes, done, did my 20 messages, I am done for the day, peace out, I'm over it, I'm done. Versus if you have a time limit, like you won't stop yourself beforehand. So if you want to take your 6 lists and you're home all day and you want to put 30 minutes or an hour for each of the checklists, for engagement, for example, 30 minutes, like think of all the things that you could do in that 30 minutes versus if I was like, I'm going to comment on 5 people today, because 5 people is not going to do anything for you. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be seen, you got to put more time into it. So, and not to say I only do it 1 hour a day, because I work from home for the most part. I'm on my computer all day long. So, but that's like my must do, my power hour must be done completely. Otherwise I don't feel complete.
I love it. Okay. So everybody's been asking, can you just show us one more time what your Trello looks like?
Yeah. Let me share screen. I know I was like, when I was texting, I was like, people are going to think I'm nuts.
It's in a good way.
In a good way. Okay. Give me a second. All right. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right. Well, let me just move. Okay. So this is my basic, like it works. So I have my 100, like, my people, your 100 lists. So whatever you want to put on that 100, these are just people where I'm like, maybe they're on like my chicken list, or I'm like, I really like her. Like I'm going to keep my eye on her. And then this is my, so remember I have an Instagram collections of all of my potentials that I run across, because I noticed if I have 20 people that I want to focus on, then I'm like, oh crap, like I can't add her to her list because she's not part of my 20s. So I just have potential lists on Facebook and on Instagram, and I keep adding to those lists. And then from those people, I pull my 20 people, right? So I'm always engaging with those lists too, but these are the people that I'm going to be like, you're on my hit list this week. You're going to get a message from me by the end of the week. So I just add them on there. And then in each of them, you guys can create checklists. You can put due dates. I don't recommend it because I always forget them. Add them to your phone instead. But you can, you know, do all of it. And you can see, like, if I create a new checklist, if I just put like engagement, like it'll copy another one that I already have. So if you remember what you name them, you can just add them. So these are my 20 people. And then these are my Instagram peeps. And then these are my opportunity messages. So these are the people that, and when I put a little diamond, that means like I really want them for whatever reason. Like I feel like they're my jam. Like I need them. So those are the people that I'm an opportunity. So those are the people that have gotten the message from me. I've introduced them, but they have not responded yet. And then you got the talking business. So if they respond, they're like, yeah, what do you do? You know, even if you're like, dude, you would just kill it at what I do. And they're like, I don't know what you do. You're on my list now. Congratulations. Thanks for answering. If there were a potential, like you can see this one was a cleanse potential, but we started talking about the business. I'll keep the cleanse there, but I'll put her in my talking business too. So I know that she's in there. And the nice thing about it is you guys, you can track like your conversations. So like, let's say I talked to Savannah and I was like, she's scared of MLM. I don't know, put something excuse, and you can save them. So you can see what you guys have been talking about. Same thing right here in edit descriptions. You can ask, you know, you can say like her goal is extra money for food. I don't know. And you can save it. So like you have everything in one place and you can see everything in front of you. And then if they are like, you can see here, well, fine.
You better take that off because you're probably going to message her and be like, hey, do you need extra money?
She's the new one. She's the new one. I know. I always go through and I read our messages too, because I hate when people forget about my conversation. So I'm really like annoying with that. I'm trying to find like a good one like that has had message, like this was a potential. You can see like $10. I've offered her the $10. She hasn't responded to any of my messages. This was my loyal customer too, you guys. Like she ignores me. And please, please, please remember, just because they're not responding does not mean that they're not interested. Like I just had a distributor sign who was never liked any of my posts, never commented on anything ever in the 8 months that I've, 9 months, whatever. And then she messaged me. She's like, hey, I was thinking about that stuff. And maybe a distributor. She signed 2 days later without me even giving her any information. Like I didn't even like, she literally just signed up and I called her on the phone call, like my, you know, my checklist phone call, distributor checklist. And I was like, okay, welcome. And she was like, you know, I just saw that you were consistent with it. And I've seen it in other people's. And I know this is like the new thing. And I just like, you just seem like you're having a good time, you know? So you guys be yourself and just have a good time. Share the funny videos. Like nobody cares. Like they like funny videos. And then if they've ever commented, they go into the cleanse or into the product lead. So these are all the people, potential loyal customers. So instead of a piece of paper where you're trying to find wraps, you know, you can, I just put it right here. And the reason it's on here is because that's searchable. So like I thought for when I first decided, I was like, oh, I'll put in descriptions, whatever. No, that's not searchable. So put them in here so that you can search it. And you can like look them up right away. Like you can see this one, I've contacted about BOGO, free wrap. Like I've tried to do everything with this girl. And if you've talked to them about BOGO before, this was from Kim's video that you did, where she was like basically saying like, blame it on yourself. If they didn't sign up, just be like, oh my God, girl, I know we totally forgot to put your order in. Like, I know we were talking about it. I'm so sorry. I want to make sure when I get it in this time. And just blame it. Because what's the worst? They're going to ignore you. They're ignoring you anyways. So,
yeah, one of my messages for like $9 kits, I would be like, oh my God, my messenger is acting so crazy. Like, I know.
Oh my God, I do all the time. I'm like, did you get it? Did you get my message? My messengers
like, I saw you responded to me. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought I saw your message. Did you get them? They're like, no. Or if they're not responding, you guys ask them about something else. I'm like, do you know how many birthdays I missed? Because that's like one thing I really want to get better is wishing, because I usually send a video. So if I don't have time to make like a funny video on Snapchat to send to people, or GIFs, just send them a GIF, happy birthday. They're like, oh my God, I love this. They'll respond to that stuff because then they're like, okay, she's not haunting me today. Like, and then they'll start a conversation. And then, or if they say no, you guys don't be like, well, that's rude. Like I spent all this time, you know, no, just be their friend and just keep the conversation going because you planted a seed, whether it be tomorrow, next week, next year, or 5 years from now, they're going to come back. So loyal customers I track, you can see like these are the people that have completed. Okay, this is a good example. So this is somebody I talk to. So I write down their number, right? So I always have that on my hand. So if I don't have access to eSuite or whatever. And then I talk about like what they've decided to do. This is the plan we decided before she ordered. Like this was how she was going to do it. And so I have that written down, like this was in our conversation. So like I can, every time her order goes through, I can go back and be like, all right, let's change it to this now. You know, are you okay? What do you want to do? And do it that way. So that's low customer. Distributors. I don't think I showed you guys how I track I did, right? So like Lauren, I think Lauren's on here. Oh, I promise she's done all this. Clearly didn't follow up. Let's use a better example. Sarah. So Sarah has done all this. My phone call list, you guys. So it's like 15 basic checklists that I go through and I'm like, okay, check. We talked about that. Check. And this is something I took from Eric Worre because it goes back to, you know, if you start a new job, you're going to go into HR and they're going to go through your paperwork and they're going to go through everything that needs to be done and have you sign it. So it's kind of the same mindset. This is a job. This is a real thing. You're going to go through everything that they need to know and explain like the groups. Like a lot of people get overwhelmed with groups and chats. So explain to them why it's important, not just, oh, you're going to be added to this group. It's going to be fun. It's you're going to be added to this group because of this, you know, and explain it to them so they're comfortable. And then I just track all of my distributors with the checklist because I'm a checklist girl. So I'm like, okay, she did that. She's done her paperwork. She's logged in. She told me she finished her eSuite training. So I know that she knows what she's doing already. She's been added to the dream team. She's been added to my training album. Do you guys want to see my albums in my team page? Cause that's really OC.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll show you guys that. So, and then she's fast start qualified. So now, you know, I know she's got 3 loyal customers right now. We're waiting for the 5th. So that'll get checked off. And then I'll send her a little note or I'll post about her getting her 4s in our groups and that gets checked off. And then once she hits her 400 club, it's a, you know, hip hip hooray. You got this. Like, this is your business. And then if they're not interested, they just go in here. So maybe like, let me see if I can find a good one, like that I've talked to like a million times. No, well, it doesn't matter. These are like, oh, here, like, so she has MS. She messages me all the time. I offer to send her like greens, like you can see right here. I've done a BOGO wrap with her. She was going to order and she never did. I offered to send her greens because I know how tired she is. I'm like, girl, I just want to send you the sample. I don't even care if you buy it. She ignored me. Last minute order, I checked in like a couple of weeks later, you know, and then just recently I was like, hey girl, I'm going for a big promotion. Like, did you still want to try this? And she just was like, no. So she's going to go in the not interested and then I'll keep, cause she still engages with my stuff. So she's going to go order sooner or later. Let's see. I'll show you guys and this is still, I just realized, so they deleted the group app. I don't know if you guys had the groups app. That was like a third-party app. And I turn off commenting on my photos and my team page. And now I can't access them. So I have to redo everything. Just sad. Okay. So everything in my group photo, and this is the only reason I did this, I should say, like, don't make a group page if you're not ready to handle it and take care of it. The only reason I did this is because I couldn't, like, if I'm searching for something, I have issues, like, I don't know if it's my phone or what, I can never find what I'm looking for. So I was like, I'm making this basically on online, like, Boss Babe Bible. So like, if they need something, it could be like, it's in the albums, like you can find it in there. And that teaches your distributors to be independent too, like where to find stuff. So for example, so distributor, so like, this is my welcome app, right? So this is where people get going, actually. So this is how I launch my distributors. Wait. So I tag them in the group album and I say, all right, girl, this is it. Like you can see. And then they start here. There's a checklist here. Or this is like a welcome. Then there's a full checklist in here of what they need to do. So you can see it in the comments, like right here. And then once they're done with that, like here's the videos they need to watch and then the applications they need to download. And I just put everything in the comments. So instead of having a separate group to launch people, I'm just like, here's everything that you need to know to get started, right? And then I have an album. I hope you guys don't think I'm crazy because I think I'm crazy. I'm so annoyed, like it has to be done like this. So like before and afters was the big one where I'm like, I need to find something, like I can't find it. So this is what I did. I went through and all of the ones that we tend to use, like, you know, greens, stretch marks, skincare, anything that I come across, I'll add them on there. So like wraps, for example. This is where I turn off commenting so nobody can tag people. So it's just nice and clean, but they can just scroll through and save a photo that they want to use. And the same thing goes for, let's see what else I have, like triple threat. But I told you, I can't see, it's turned off commenting and I can't unturn it off on this. I have to redo my page. But yeah.
Wait, how come you can't unturn it off?
So I used a third-party app. So it was the groups app, and that's what it and it told me they were going to delete the app. So I assume, I'm like, I bet you I won't be able to use this anymore. And so now I can't unlock the commenting on here because I use that. So I have to go through and redo everything, which is okay, which is totally fine. But yeah, so like this just makes it easier for my distributors, like, to go in and find what they need instead of me being like, well, why don't you just search for it in the group? You know, and I'm like, oh yeah, here's all the albums. And I go through this on my checklist. I'm like, okay, guys, like everything's in the albums, like your before and afters, like how to launch, like your trainings, your videos, you know, like everything that you really need access to is in there. So you just have to go in there. And like I said, I feel like that teaches them a little bit more of independence. So it's not always like, how do I find this? You know, I'm like, everything's in the albums. Like, so like, building your business, I talk about power hours. So like I put different examples of power hours, like error codes, charting sheets, you know, so everything they kind of need to get going. But yeah, or like, this is my favorite one. Like when they have questions of like how to answer people, I'm always like, did you check the albums? Like this is a good one. Or no, not this one. Clearly not done. And I just collect from what, like all of the trainings. This is why you guys should watch all the trainings and pay attention to groups, because I just collect everything and add them on here. So like, let's use, so like I can't sell, right? So that's one of the objections that a new potential distributor would say, I can't sell. So you go in here and there's 4 different ways you can answer that. So they have it and they can pick it and then they can change it how they want to, instead of me having to go in and send them every single time they have any issues. They kind of learn like, okay, this is where it's at. I mean, obviously I still help people, but so there's tons of like different examples, like potential, like anytime any of the leaders post about potential message examples, I add them, whatever may be going on, so that they can just scroll through and be like, I don't know. Also post, oh my God, why does he keep doing this? Post examples, like, I don't think I've done any of them before it froze, like greens, maybe, let's see. And you just go on and then like, here's like a greens post that I've used and it's worked for me. You know what I mean? So that they have access to it. So instead of having to save a bunch on their phone, they can just go, you know, post ideas, greens. Oh, it's here. It's in the comments. And yeah.
That's literally amazing.
That's my OCD. I remember I messaged LaShawn. I was like, I think I'm crazier than you. I'm sorry. Like, I think I won OCD award of the year.
But literally it's like amazing. Like this is just like so awesome for your team, and it's so awesome like because you're gonna have like such like a head start.
Yeah, it takes time. So if you're not like ready to like take care of it, like ever since that app got deleted, like I don't have any access, and I haven't gone in to fix everything because I know once I start I can't stop. Like I made this page like in like 24 hours because I couldn't sleep. Like I was like, I'm not sleeping till this is done. Like it needs to be done. So unless you're ready to take care of it, don't go off. And you know, I still tell my team, the dream team and the dream warriors or whatever, like that's like our main page, you guys. Like that's where you get your trainings, your everything. This is more like your like information center. Like I take everything that we post in the dream team and I just put it in this group so that it's easier to find it, because it's easier for me. So I assume it's just easier for everybody. It's really for me. It's really
like literally so awesome though.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that this business has taught you that you didn't learn from your other businesses?
I feel like, so even with the social media stuff, like I always questioned like what I knew and what I was capable of, because there's so many people that are in the business. And I think this business teaches you the same thing. And I was questioning myself. Like I would look at Lachelle and you and Cassie and Erin tweet. Like I had that Zoom with Erin. I was like, oh my God, this girl's amazing. Like Tiffany, like all of those leaders, like I was trying, even our diamond leaders, like, you know, I'm always like, how are they doing this? Like, how are they editing their photos? Like again, it's an OCD mindset for me. I'm like, I got to figure this out. Maybe it's the green in me. Isn't that, that's green, I think. But it's like, you want to be so bad at that point that you're like, you want to do it just like they're doing it. And I think you need to realize that you are who you are for a reason, and there's only one of you. However you post, however, you know, if you do your makeup every day, or half the time I don't have makeup on now when I do live videos, I just don't care anymore because I don't have the time to do it. I'm not going to do it. But just be yourself. Like, I think if you're trying to be somebody, it's great to learn from everybody that you see and all the leaders, but don't let it get to you. Like, don't be like, well, I'm never going to be, you know, Kelsey. And it's like, no, you're not, because you're not Kelsey. You're you. So be you, embrace what you have to offer, and find something that's special about you. For me, it's makeup. Like, that's what I do. I do live videos, do my makeup. And I recently found out that I'm kind of funny. So I just post funny videos, like, you know what I mean? Like, just being silly. So it'll really help you find yourself. And once it clicks, you're just going to be like, oh my God, this is it. Like, just have fun with that. Like, just ignorance on fire 24/7. Like, don't care. I just don't care anymore. I just be you. Just be you and you'll get there. It's not even whoever said that. It's not finding yourself. It's just never losing yourself. I think a lot of people start the business and they're like, well, I gotta be, you know, this person now because I'm now, you know, with this company. And that's not it. You should take the products that you're talking about and apply it to your life. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't change yourself for the product. Still be you, but just incorporate what you're doing into your daily life. And the day you do that, you're going to start having more fun with it. The business is fun and it's simple. And if you're overcomplicating it and you're just not having a good time, you're just never going to make it. It's emotional business, so stick to it. Like, that's why you got to do a positive message every day. Like, start your day on a positive journey and just have fun with it. Like, you'll learn who you really are, and you'll love yourself more for it. And yeah, just have fun with it. Like, that's all I did was the other day. Like, I was like, I don't know what happened, but I started enrolling like crazy, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just having fun with it. Like, I don't care about like algorithms are important, but I'm like, I'm just posting. Like, if I want to post something, I'm going to post something. Like, if I want to share a funny cat video, like, I'm going to share a funny cat video. Like, I don't care how many times it's been shared. People like funny cat videos, you know, I like it. It's my page and that's what's going on. And people like that. Like, I'm just being myself. Like, I talk about, I don't know if you saw my live today, but I worked out with J-Lo today. She sweats unicorn tears. Like, and I talked about that. Like, she just glows like all the time. Just have fun with it and show your life, and don't try to be someone you're not.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that's something that, like, at every level people do, because I always say there's new levels and there's new devils that come with each new level. Mm-hmm. And so the more you learn at the beginning, the more equipped you are to deal with those devils when they do come. Because you guys, the obstacles, it's not a matter of avoiding them. You can't go hide under a rock and avoid all the obstacles that are going to come to you. They're going to come no matter where you are. It's just a matter of knowing that they're going to come and being prepared to deal with it. So I just want to thank you for spending your time. My gosh, it was like so amazing. I know you're seriously going to go ambassador and beyond. So, like, it's literally amazing.
Thank you. I had a good time. I hope you guys really, I mean, if you guys have any questions, I mean, feel free to message me. I'm on my phone 24/7. Like, I wake up in the middle of the night and check my phone. So if you have questions, like if I didn't answer, if we didn't get through, like, don't feel like, and don't be offended if I've stopped kind of taking friend requests from distributors, just because I start engaging with them. I'm like, oh wait, we know each other. So follow and like send me a message, and I'll try to help as much as I can. But yeah, if you're going to take anything from it, you guys find a system that works for you, and make it work, and just do it every single day. It's a compound effect. It may not be tomorrow, next week, you know, but it will happen, and you're going to find that special little diamond and it's going to happen. So don't stress over it, because when you start stressing, that's your negative thoughts, and you're just going to take a step back. So just have fun, have a good time, stay positive, stay organized.
I love it. Thank you so much. You were amazing. And I'll post the recording for everybody up soon. Thank you.
Sounds good. Have a good